Wait, did you just see this? Rwanda, a country most people couldn't point to on a map, just pulled off something that made tech billionaires in Silicon Valley sit up and take notice. They launched Africa's first flying car. But here's the thing. This isn't what you think it is, and it's way more impressive than you've heard. Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm breaking down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what this means for the future of transportation. And trust me, the ending will blow your mind.
Deliveries. This is the foundation of key industries of the future, like e-commerce. Today, for the first time in Africa, a self-flying air taxi will take to the skies. We are very happy to be part of this demonstration and look forward to seeing what will come next. For Africa,
On September 3rd, 2025, something historic went down in Kigali, Rwanda's capital. The government did something that no other African nation had done before. They launched a public demonstration of an autonomous flying taxi. We're not talking about some secret government project. This was live, cameras rolling, journalists watching, the world watching. The aircraft? It's called the EHang EH216S, made by a Chinese company called EHang, but Rwanda was the African nation bold enough to showcase it first. 2 passengers, completely pilotless, electrically powered, and it climbed to about 100 meters into the air like it was nothing. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't just some random tech demo. This was part of the Africa Aviation Summit. Rwanda's government was basically saying to the world, hey, we're not just a country, we're a hub for innovation. We're the future. Now, you might be thinking, wait, a flying car? Like, can I buy one tomorrow? Hold on. Let me break down what this really is. So let's be honest. When people hear flying car, they think of Back to the Future. They think of soaring over traffic jams on the way to work. That's not what this is. Yet. What Rwanda unveiled is what experts call an autonomous electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, or if you want the cooler name, a flying taxi. Think of it more like an advanced drone that's big enough to carry humans. It's been tested before, in China, in the Middle East, but this was a first for Africa. The EHang EH216S has 2 seats. No pilot, no controls. It uses artificial intelligence and sensors to navigate. It's silent. Seriously, barely makes a sound compared to helicopters. And it's electric, so we're not talking about gas-guzzling vehicles. This is clean tech. But here's the real genius move. Rwanda didn't just demo-some random technology. They strategically positioned themselves as the gateway to the future. While other African nations are still debating, Rwanda went all in. The partnership? Rwanda linked up with China Road and Bridge Corporation and EHang. International collaboration, investment, infrastructure. This wasn't a one-off stunt. This was a strategic play. Okay, so why should you care? Let me paint a picture. Imagine it's 2035. You're in Lagos, Johannesburg, or Nairobi. You open an app, kinda like Uber, and within minutes, a flying taxi lands on a designated pad and whisks you across the city in 15 minutes instead of 2 hours stuck in traffic. No drivers needed, no pollution, just smooth, futuristic travel. That's the end game. And Rwanda just planted the flag. But there's more. This is about African innovation. For decades, technology has flowed one direction, from the West to Africa. From Asia to Africa. Rwanda said, no more. They're saying, We're not just adopters of technology, we're hubs for it. Think about the ripple effects. Investment will follow. Tech talent will flock there. Other African nations will want to compete. And suddenly, a continent that's been left behind in the tech race is leapfrogging entire generations of outdated infrastructure. Plus, the practical benefits are insane. Traffic kills. In Africa, road accidents are a leading cause of death. Flying taxis eliminate traffic jams. They reduce accidents. They're faster. They're cleaner. They could revolutionize emergency response. Imagine ambulances that fly over traffic to get to hospitals in minutes. And let's talk about jobs. Manufacturing, maintenance, software development, air traffic management. New industries will emerge. Rwanda just opened a door that affects millions of people across the continent. But, and this is a big but, there are obstacles. Look, I don't want to rain on the parade, but we need to talk about the challenges. First, regulation. Right now, there's no legal framework for flying taxis in most African countries. Rwanda's government has to work with the aviation authority to create rules. How high can they fly? What routes are allowed? What happens if something goes wrong? These are questions that still need answers. Second, cost. This technology is expensive. Really expensive. Right now, these aren't for everyday people. It's luxury transportation, at least for the first decade. So, while it's revolutionary, it's not immediately accessible to the average African commuter. That'll take time. Third, infrastructure. Flying taxis need charging stations, landing pads, maintenance facilities. Rwanda has to build this whole ecosystem. It's not impossible, but it's a massive undertaking. Fourth, public acceptance. Change is scary. People need to trust autonomous aircraft before they'll fly in them. One accident, just one, could set the whole industry back years. Rwanda and EHang know this. They're moving carefully. But here's why I'm optimistic. Rwanda is thinking long-term. This demo wasn't about selling flying taxis next month. It was about positioning themselves as a leader for the next 20 years. And honestly, it worked. So let's bring this home. What does Rwanda's flying car mean for your future? If you live in Africa, within the next 5-10 years, you might see these becoming more common in major cities. Not everywhere yet, but the innovators will get them first. Imagine being part of that revolution. Imagine your city being ahead of the curve. If you live elsewhere, pay attention. Rwanda just showed the world that innovation doesn't only happen in Silicon Valley or Shenzhen. It's happening in Africa. That changes everything about how we think about technology, investment, and the future. For students, this is inspiration. If Rwanda can do this, what can your country do? What can you do? The barriers to entry for technology are lower than ever. For investors, Rwanda just signaled that it's open for business. The next generation of tech innovation will attract billions in investment to Africa. Get ahead of it. And for everyone, this is a reminder that the future doesn't arrive overnight. It's built by bold decisions, international partnerships, and a willingness to think bigger. Rwanda's flying car isn't just about transportation, it's about mindset. It's about believing in possibility. This is just the beginning. So there you have it. Rwanda launched Africa's first flying car, and it's going to change everything. But here's the thing. This story is far from over. In the next few years, we're going to see more African nations jump on this. We're going to see flying taxis become a reality. And it all started here, in Rwanda, with one bold move. What do you think? Are you excited about flying taxis? Do you think Africa is leading the future of transportation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to hear what you think this means for the world. And if you want to stay updated on the future of tech, innovation, and Africa's rise, hit that subscribe button. New videos every week, breaking down the stories that matter. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.